Located in between the airport and the city of Palma, Banya has been a controversial site ever since its conception. Built in 1968 during the Franco dictatorship and backed by the Church of Palma, the development aimed to move the Roma people away from the city center into a site owned by the church. Originally, Banya was promoted by the Enigma Society in partnership with the church, with the aim to solve the problem of shanty towns being constructed in the Palma neighborhood of El Molinar. At its inception, the development was made up of 124 homes that were assigned to Roma families that previously lived in El Molina. The neighborhood's facilities were modest but significant. They included a school, municipal police, and social assistance services. The rent for these homes was symbolic, just 100 pesetas a month, worth less than $1 today. However, soon the lack of payments began to accumulate. During the 1970s, Spain's financial turbulence due to the oil crisis in 1973 and the adjustment Franco's death in 1975 caused on the Spanish economy did not help the initiative to succeed. By the 80s, the lack of educational opportunities, disconnection to the city, and increased activity in the drug trafficking industry led Banya into further disarray. A decade later, the population of Banya skyrocketed, and the shanty town the government wanted to eradicate in El Molinar reappeared in the current site. Today, Banya is no longer a viable solution for social housing, but a problem with multiple ramifications and serious social implications. The neighborhood of Banya mirrors the historic, nomadic lifestyle of the Roma people. The Roma people have had a long history of migration throughout Europe and beyond, often facing discrimination and marginalization in the countries they settle. Banya has become synonymous with the challenges and issues faced by the Roma communities, including poverty, social exclusion, and inadequate access to services. Understanding their past and the history of Spain throughout time is key in order to be aware of the site's current conditions. During the Roman Empire, the Iberian Peninsula was very significant for Rome. Tarraco, modern-day Tarragona, was the capital of the province. It was an important shipping port for the empire due to its strategic geographical position. At the height of the empire, the province had over 5 million inhabitants. After the fall of the empire, the Visigoths ruled Spain. They were a Germanic tribe, and they were in the Iberian Peninsula from the 5th to the 8th century. In the year 711, the Arabs successfully conquered the peninsula, forming the extremely influential and wealthy kingdom of Al-Andalus. Although the Arabs occupied most of the territory, in Asturias there was a Christian minority. In 1722, Pelayo managed to form a small army and win the first major battle for the Christians, the Battle of Covadonga. During the 900s, the Caliphate of Córdoba was one of the most powerful kingdoms in Europe. However, by the year 1031, the Caliphate was weakened due to political instability. The kingdom got split into smaller taifas. This allowed the Christian Reconquista to gain traction and a substantial amount of land. The 1200s saw the solidification and peak of the Kingdom of Aragon, which increased overall Christian power in the Iberian Peninsula. La Batalla de los Navas de Rolosa was one of the most important battles of the Reconquista. All taifas except Granada ended up under Christian influence. In 1492, the Catholic kings win over Granada, ending Al-Andalus and the presence of Arabs in the Iberian Peninsula. That same year, Cristobal Colón arrives in the New World, leading the newly formed kingdom into the colonial age. By the 1600s, the Spanish Empire is at its peak. The Spanish have successfully taken over most of Latin America. The church has become the most important institution in Spain, behind the monarchy. By the 1800s, the empire is on its decline. Spain's monarchy is overruled by Napoleon's power. By the end of the 19th century, Spain loses its last colonies to the US, Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines during the Spanish-American War. Spain in the 20th century saw political turmoil, including a civil war and the dictatorship of Francisco Franco, followed by a transition to democracy after his death. The aim for my thesis is to understand past conditions that have led Banya to be what it is today, in order to propose a set of architectural tools that can help mitigate the issue at hand, and hopefully improve the living conditions of the neighborhood's residents. Hence, the question arises, how can the community be rehabilitated through architectural design methods?